By now, we all must have heard the story of the famous footballer who got married at 21 and is going through a divorce with his 36-year-old wife. So it has left me with a question: how smart are you to be married to a woman with over a decade of experience over you? Welcome to the High Altitude Show with your host, iJohn784, the Up Top Boss. He got married at 21 years old to, at the time, a 33-year-old actress named Hiba Abuk. Now you may ask, what's the problem? Ashraf has recently been accused of sexual harassment. And recently, to compound that issue, his wife filed for divorce against him, and she wants half of everything he owns. Now, does that sound familiar? A woman that has 12 years, a woman that is 12 years older than you. That's 12 years of more experience, 12 years of being in the street, learning the tricks and the trades of being a woman in the acting industry. She's an actress. Was she playing a role to get into this man's world? She asked for half of this man's asset. This particular man was going through a rape case, and she chose this time. I don't see the problem if she don't want to be with him again, but don't you think the timing is a bit off? When this man, her man, is fighting to prove his innocence, he's trying to clear his name. She chose this time to come out and file for divorce. Couldn't she wait at least a bit longer? I'll pick a different timing. But you know what I see in this case? It was that she was ready to cash out. And she didn't just decide to bail out in the divorce settlement. She's asking for half of this man's asset. This man has been balling hard, putting in all the effort to get whatever he wants. And now, the woman that he married less than 3 years ago is deciding to bail, and she wants half of everything. But I said earlier that this story has a twist. Ashraf Hakimi put everything in his mother's name before getting into the marriage. I don't think no man around his wife age, which is 36, who's aspiring to be the best version of themselves, would ever even consider getting involved and marrying her. So guess what she did? She decided to go after a young man who is so inexperienced that she can suck his energy, and she could basically manipulate him and groom him in the way that she sees best and fit into her. When I come to think about the situation with him, literally before his marriage, before his wedding, he decides to put everything in his mother's name. I am kind of leaning towards the thought and the belief that his mother was probably the mastermind behind his move. I think most times it's gonna take a woman to know a woman's nature best, point blank. So I'm guessing that his mother gave him the idea to protect himself from this Jezebel of the street. And yes, I said this Jezebel of the street because to me, I think because this story is actually making its run around all social media platforms. Tell you, it has been the story. And just to summarize it, Ashraf Hakimi, professional football player, a hell of a right back, wife filed for divorce, and her settlement is that she requested half of his assets, expecting to get half of his house, half of his cars, half of his money, half of everything, but come to realize that there's only 100,000 in his bank account, despite he's a man making over $1 million per month. That's over 25 million per year. And instead of getting any of that, all she gets to leave with now, it's around 50,000. And this is so because Hakimi was smart enough to protect his assets from her by placing everything that he owns in his mom's name, Mama Hakimi. Mama Hakimi. So when his wife, who's an actress, I might add, I guess her divorce lawyer broke the news. I bet she might have almost fainted when she heard her, her expectations were not met. I must say, take time to know who you are going to commit to, whether in a simple relationship, much more a legal marriage. And like what my Caribbean granny loved to say, sheep luck, not goat luck. So in this context, you rush into a marriage, like our friend here, Hakimi did, 21-year-old, marrying to a 33-year-old daughter. Should I say, almost should be a grandmother. You might not be as lucky as Hakimi, where he was able to secure his assets. When his wife was ready to bail on him, she didn't get to grab half. And be careful of a woman's nature.